fertilising, and of course, more recently, firefighting. Well, kids, if you look to the right and your feet start to get a bit itchy, that's because we're about to launch off one of the greatest aircraft ever built, ladies and gentlemen. So we've got our Marvel Avengers. We all know the movies, we all know the series, and we love it. This is the true Avenger. I'll let you listen, folks. Sit back, because here comes the Grumman Avenger. Did you feel that, folks? That is what 1,900 horsepower feels like coming out of that Wright R-Two-Six-Zero-Zero radial motor. Give him a big wave there as he brings the thrush back in. Great display there as well. And flying our Grumman Avenger today is the one and only Matt Henderson. You'll find him around the fire dancing on his shoes here this afternoon when the band starts playing. But during the day, one of the most experienced warbird pilots in Australia. And we have him at all of the Paul Bennet Airshow events that we have throughout the country. From a flying family as well. We've got a couple of pretty mean aircraft himself, but none meaner than this beautiful machine that you're about to witness. A little bit about the Grumman Avenger. The TBM 3E Avenger was built by General Motors. This one in particular held civil registrations. Was restored by Mike Long of the Air Gold Coast and was flying first in 2005. It has seen combat in World War II, this craft, so it's a genuine warbird, and then later become a fire bomber. So a twin stage supercharger or blower on that 14-cylinder radial engine, giving it that unique sound and shaking the ground as it takes off. We have witnessed this aircraft flying about today and is part of the Paul Bennet Joyride experience that you too can be part of. You need to just go over to that big blue trailer, see Rachel and the team, and they can certainly sort you out. Maximum weight in flight is up to 8,500 kilos. Today in its present form you're looking at about 5,700 kilos. With a wingspan of 16.5 metres and a length of 12, it is a large aircraft, ladies and gentlemen, as you can see up in the sky. So the prototype of the Avenger, TBF-1, was to be publicly displayed on Sunday to December the 7th, 1941. Now that date may spark a memory in some of you, and that was the day that they bombed Pearl Harbor. So the opening of this aircraft was delayed that day, and hence the name Avenger.
I've got a bit here, but he doesn't want it because it's not cold. Here, just drink it. Quite thirsty.
So Grumman produced hundreds of these aircraft. For facing them out in 1943, focus on the Hellcat. Have a look at this, folks. Beautiful top wing display there with Matt. I'm often asked on what is the arrow on the wing and underneath the wing on that. Those markings are very important to the aircraft to match the aircraft carrier which it was meant to land on. If you picture this in the war, there's many aircraft carriers out in the ocean, and the worst thing you can do is land on the wrong aircraft. It wasn't looked at too kindly back in the day, apparently. So I mentioned they phased out, Grumman phased out these machines in 1943. General Motors then took over production from the mid of 1944, changing from TBF to TBM and starting with their TBM-1. The TBM-3 had a more powerful power plant, wing hardpoints for drop tanks and rockets. And about 4,600 of these were built. Have a look at the underwing here. Of course, it looks awkward in the sky, folks. It's quite a maneuverable machine. And of course, if we make enough cheers when he brings it back in, we can... This particular aircraft built 4 aircraft carriers. So our young war heroes back in the day were put in these machines, taking off from the aircraft, some of them not making them back on. A very difficult, one of the most difficult aircraft to land back on an aircraft carrier. See the bomb bay doors opening and closing there. You can imagine the fear that was installed when a squadron of these aircraft came in low and growling towards their targets back in the day, ladies and gentlemen. They were quite a force to behold.
What's up, webs? Don't you want it? Ask Benny if he'd like some cold ice cream. Give it to Benny.
And again, have a listen to that near 2,000 horsepower Wright Cyclone Radial engine. First action for the Avenger was at the Battle of Midway on the 4th of June, 4th to the 7th.